This is just saying it's been a while. It's been a while because I don't look at the news. I'm not into the elections. I'm not going to hop into that anymore. That's kind of, I don't know what I'm going to do. I may vote and I may not. I mean, I really just am not into it. People say, well, you should vote. We should vote. But I think that the voting thing has been taken over. I really do believe that. You know. Last time I voted, they put my vote in a bag. So I don't know what's going on. I try to stick with my people. I was at a place the other night, a couple of nights ago, that was my favorite place to go and dance and stuff. And the band actually started talking and preaching about Obama. And honey, saying nice one, preaching about that. I don't know why. They don't know why. But I hopped up so fast and left out of that place as I do not want to be a part of any Obama lover groups. I'm sorry. I am being pretty brave on this one. It's pretty disgusting to have two hands and you constantly, and what's common sense about it is that you look at it every day. You're looking at it on TV. You're looking at it and you're saying, well, Obama couldn't do that. He has to work for all of America. Well, he did. He did just that for 6 years. And now that you black people, us black people, have to get up every day and look at Walter Scott's and a young man that was accused of child support, and they know that is not his child. That's just gone too far. That is. But the police brutality. People say, well, we kill ourselves. We need to stop killing ourselves. But when we kill each other, we go to jail. We go to jail, child. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. When that black boy shot that policeman in Ferguson, he was in jail before the week was out. I don't even think it was 2 days. He was in jail. But we have people shooting black men and killing black men, and always have been. This has been going on for a long time. And Obama said this is not a black thing. Did y'all believe that? I guess most of you did. Or are you listening? Are you listening is the point. Because if you listened, he said this ain't no black thing. But it is a black thing. Obama, you went through college and you went through all of that. Don't you know the history? This has been going on for a long time. Obama. And then that Holder, he's a pitiful shame. What did he do? Does anybody know? If anybody knows, please let me know. What did that man do? A boy is being held responsible for a child in the law. This is the law, they said. They know that child isn't his and they want to take and blame this young man. That when you look at the news and when you look at everything on TV and the things that are going on, that were going on when Obama took office, he could have helped some of these things. And I'm not going to he could have helped, period. He had the power. We had two power heads. I call them two heads. I call them like a dragon, I see them like animals. Two heads, like a dinosaur or something. Two heads. And they did nothing. They did nothing. And what's so special about these heads can be chopped off and the body can still move. So the people are still going to have to make it, And then there was a question on News Now. What are we going to do after Obama leaves office? What? Serious? After he leaves, he didn't do nothing for me. I don't know about you, but he didn't do nothing here. ISIS, maybe, or some other issues that he was working on when he was in office. But he was not a good president for, if people are going to say black president, he wasn't good. Not at all. And nor was Holder. I don't know what he did. I don't know what he did to today. I mean, I'm honest. So I was somewhere, and when they said Obama and started praising him, I got out of there, and I'll continue to do it. I may not go back. That may not be the place for me anymore, because I don't sit around Christians, and I don't sit around Obama lovers. Christians, they talk about people fast. They're the most critical. The gay community, every community. It was the church that started all this whining, and the Bible says this and the Bible says that. They think that they're so superior over other people. That's not spirituality. So is the Jehovah Witness. Oh my God, don't let me, did I mention them? I'm not going to mention them anymore. But anyway, there you go. So that's how I think this morning. That's my blog, my people's blog today is, I still don't like Obama. I feel like I'm in a closet and I can't get out. Can't get out. I just have to be black. I am black. I can't help it. I'm black. But I don't think like the same. I don't want to think that way. I don't want to think loving Obama after seeing him, what he has done and what he has said, his humiliation. I don't want to be in the Christian religion at all, and I'm not going to be. And I don't want to see a young man go to jail for something and they know that he didn't do. It's time for police brutality to be attacked in a different way other than marching on Selma. Marching, let it go. That's it. I hope that everyone has a lot of love and light in their life today, but also speak up. Say what you got to say. Be you today. Bye for now. I'm just saying.
Do you think that the South African government's racial policy is right?
I really do, because we cannot mix with the lower nations at the moment, unless they are cultivated and educated and so on.
The fear that white people had of black people was so deeply internalized and reinforced by church and government and business that black town halls were burned, black churches were burned. And if a black man defended himself against the aggressor, against a white man, not only could he be killed, but his family could be killed. He might be subjected to hours of torture. In some cases, more than one, a black man was tied on a log and burned from his feet up so that an extensive crowd of people could take pleasure out of the screams and the horror.
At his home near Savannah, Georgia, James Allen has collected a photographic record of racial violence in the South. For the past 20 years, he's found horrifying pictures in the family albums of ordinary Southern homes. Many are postcards that were mass-produced as souvenirs.
Some of these images were printed in the tens of thousands and sold for a dime or $1 a piece. Some of the postcards tell you where to write and the discounts you'll get if you buy 1, 10, or 100. They were sold in drugstores and pharmacies. They were sold on the street. I purchased a photograph from a woman. The photographer sold them door to door. Her mother bought the image for $2. A murder that is of particular interest to me was of a 17-year-old boy by the name of Jess Washington in Waco, Texas, in 1916. He was seriously mentally challenged. The wife of the farmer that he worked for was found dead. He was arrested. He was brought to trial. The trial took from 10 until 12. And when the jury came back at noon and found him guilty, someone in the courtroom, and it would have been anyone in the courtroom, screamed out, "Get that nigger." Then one of the worst and cruelest treatments of a human being began. Jess was kicked down out of the courthouse, down the back steps where a crowd of several hundred was waiting for him. They put a chain on his neck. There were 16,000 people crowding the street to watch this boy be tortured. Jess was tied to the chain over a branch of a tree. The fire was started. They raised Jess from the fire up into the air so that the crowd could see him. There were cheers, like at a football game, cheering the torturers on. When Jess tried to climb up the chains, hand by hand, they cut his fingers off one by one so that all he could do was slap at the chain. They lowered him back down in the fire. A man came up and castrated him. Another man kept a pole so that he couldn't crawl out of the fire. And time and again, they pulled him up to keep him from dying so that the crowd could be satisfied. Until he finally died.
Many of these murders were instigated by America's most powerful agent of racial terror. At its peak, the Ku Klux Klan had up to 5 million members. An average of 2 lynchings every week resulted. The Klan was just one source of racial violence. Scores of black Americans were killed during the Red Summer riots of 1919. More bloodshed followed 2 years later in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Over 300 people were killed and thousands were left homeless after envious white people attacked the city's most prosperous black community. Much of this history of racial violence has been erased from public memory. Several state archives have cut out photographs and newspaper reports of lynchings. And James Allen's attempts to show his collection in Atlanta's leading academic institutions have been repeatedly blocked.
White America has maintained to this day control of the history of racial violence as victors. It's as if we live in an occupied country intellectually. And as long as white America maintains the power and maintains the myth of moral superiority, the history will never become public, fully public, and be written into our national consciousness.